we're going to go through a little bit more half-minute hero. Reason for that is I want to show off the second game, but then I don't want the second game to really spoil stuff that's in this game. So
He doesn't want to spoil a story this rich, with characters this deep, with twists that you'll never see coming in this immersive world that has been established to be deep and wide and also deep.
It's funny you say that because the second game tries to do that unironically, and it's fascinating for it. Sorry, what was that, Sandals?
I was going to say you're probably going to get footage and do another 10-hour long play thing like Final Fantasy.
I'm hearing a squawking sound. Are you being attacked by magpies again?
They're hanging around. I've actually dubbed them both Heckle and Jackal.
Oh my god,
It's early morning in there.
They're common enough for you to have named them. I feel like that's a problem that should be addressed.
No, I actually quite like it. It's nice to have company.
Okay then, fair dues. We're going to name this Evil Lord. Canonically, his name is Evil Lord. Like, literally, that is his name. But we're going to call him... Grumpy...
Cat, David's favourite meme.
No.
His favourite film. His favourite Christmas film to watch every day.
No, my favourite Christmas film is The Three Doggeteers. We should know this about me by now. Does Grumpy Pumpy will not fit. Oh, Grumpy P. It's got to be Grumpy P.
Nah.
There you go, with the hearts. There you go, Grumpy P. Grumpy Pumpy. So, you have Hero 30, which is the main campaign. Saw that in the previous video, previous stream. And that was the whole, do an RPG in 30 seconds. In this game, you're playing as a beautiful man. He's incredibly beautiful. He's an evil lord. And he meets a young girl who makes him a good person. But then his lover gets hurt. His lover gets cursed. And... Skipping. We have to go save our... We have to save our other half.
Deep story, deep.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Oh, yes, so our
I've
girlfriend...
seen a puzzle on the street when it rained for a bit. Like that.
Mm-hmm. So...
A story that you can drown in.
Just gorge yourself in the deep story. So this is your girlfriend, Millennia. She's a bat. We don't want her to be a bat. That's pretty rough. There's a bit of flirting between them. And then a bunch of thieves, a bunch of bandits come along. And we need to fuck their shit up. So, skimming through this. Do I explain the summoning magic? I'll remember it. I've played this a while back. I got to beat the bandits. So, I could go around to summon dudes. And my little dudes attack the bandits. So as it stands, I could just summon as many dudes as I want, and it's kind of the best. And they just fuck the bandits all up for me. So yeah, this is a bit more... I should probably have paid attention to what monsters are better against what. I'm going to assume shooters beat the axe dudes. So let's get some shooters and shoot them up. Yep, shooters are doing pretty damn well. So defeat the melee fighters with shooters. Oh shit, I've got 10 seconds left. I should probably... There we go. Kill that statue. We've got axe dudes, so I don't know if shooters are the way to go. Yep, shooters are still good. I'm just going to casually mill past.
Attack at close combat. I guess I'll just summon some ranged angels to kill everything.
Do you know what that kind of makes me think of? It makes me think of, what's that? Oh, what's that Mitchell and Webb sketch?
Kid and the angel summoner.
Yes, that's literally all that makes me think of.
Right, I'll do a wheelie and then a backflip and a kickflip and knock the guards into the water. Meanwhile, you can untie the princess and save the day. I could. Or I could summon a horde of angels.
Well, I mean, and that would work too. So this game introduces the same mechanic as the main campaign. The time goddess swoops in, this time with rocking cool shades. Those that are literally like 8 pixels big, and I can go to that barrel to freeze or reverse
7,
time.
But
Oh yeah, 7 pixels or voxels, I think they're called. If they're big pixels. Anyway, I've got to break some statues, and I've got the clock in case I need it.
So speaking of being a massive loser, the VGAs happened.
Yeah, we should probably discuss those, because this stream should be a little bit of a... It's kind of a little bit of a an excuse for us to discuss those. So what were your thoughts on the VGAs?
Yeah, basically I'm getting too old for the hype.
Yes, that's correct. We don't need another E3. The only thing that came out of it, of the VGAs this year, was a meme of a man yelling "fuck the Oscars," and he is right.
Yeah.
The Oscars are a corporate event of a bunch of rich corporate dickheads sniffing their own assholes, and the VGAs are that, but with video games.
Yep.
They're not a celebration of art or, you know, actual...
Oh, the guys they got for like the head guys in Sony just cannot do a entertainment to save their lives.
So Sony's not the best company in the world. Like, they're a bunch of stiff corporate types, and the only good thing that Sony can do right now is... Like, I think they lose money on almost all fronts of business, except for video games, and I think they do 4K televisions now. But,
yeah.
Their films lose a lot of money, and they invest very poorly.
Yeah. I did like Spider-Man Homecoming though. I watched that recently.
Solid.
I don't think that's Sony anymore, though.
Oh yeah, that's just Marvel. That
they
one,
have. I was surprised by that too. Like, the actual movie's done by Sony, but there's a joint partnership that they can both use the character of Spider-Man somehow.
Oh.
I don't know how Sony somehow acquired Spider-Man separate from the rest of what Disney got.
I think it was something to do with, because I know Fox has the rights to X-Men, because they were allowed to use Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in Avengers as long as they didn't call them mutants.
It's just so dumb.
Yeah.
It's so intellectually and artistically dishonest.
So let's get my nimbles to kill the archers. There we are, that's better. Clear some archers out of the way, and then I can actually successfully push forward. That's better. So the nimbles just dance around the arrow fire.
It's kind of reminded me of a faster paced version of The Bard's Tale. Came out about 10 years ago, and yeah, I actually quite liked that. It had a good sense of humour.
I can dig it.
I've heard good things about that game.
Yeah. And you get a cute little fox terrier puppy dog with you.
Alright, so beat some corrupt minister, good for me. And that's his campaign in a nutshell. He has to get his girlfriend turned back to normal by summoning monsters. Because he used to be evil, he can summon monsters, and now he's actually a good guy, but he still has that power, so he uses it, you know, to fuck up worse baddies. So on
Was
that note,
result screen like the guy on a massage table?
I think it was. I was trying to gauge what it was. That does seem like something this character would have as his result screen. So let's just save that.
Yeah, I mean, if he's having a tea party with his back girlfriend, yeah, he's got to be a little eccentric.
I'm skipping most of the dialogue, obviously, because it's very basic, but the whole kind of gimmick with him is he's incredibly arrogant and vain, and I kind of love him as a character. He's very, very entertaining. Although I like this character more. Princess 30. She's going to be called Princess I haven't thought of the name, I'm just winging it. Mary. Meredith is too easy. She's just Princess Mary with 3 eyes. That's her name. Mary.
That's why if you leave it as default, it's just Princess, or...
It's just generic. It's like I say, the characters in this game all have the basic names. Their names are Hero, Evil Lord, Princess, and the other 2 characters are Sage? Yeah, Knight and Sage.
Fair enough.
Anyway, princess has been born. And her poor dad is sick, so we have to get our dad some apples. I think. I can't remember. We have to get him some medicine, I'm pretty sure. Or like magic apples or some shit. Oh, we got to get him herbs. There we go. Let's go get some herbs for our dad. We go out, we get attacked by monsters, so we get given a crossbow. Told we have a 30-second curfew before we come back into the palace, but we have our night guards to guide us. So with that in mind, I don't need no fucking tutorial. I'll learn it in the heat of a battle. In her own words. And so, this game is fucking murder everything while you run around with your little night dudes. And this is awesome. This is just excessive murder, the game.
Holy shit.
Yep. Ta-da! I got some glasses. Hooray.
Oh no, frogs, kill them, they're different.
Kill everything that moves.
Oh, you found the herbs. A giant pair of glasses, good. You've saved the realm.
Well, I think we've found some intrigue in the form of those glasses. Now let's dash back whilst just still firing with reckless abandon. And
what happens if you stay over the 10 seconds you got left?
They close the gates, you get locked out, and it's game over because she starts freaking out because she can't get back home. Which is... They probably would let a princess in, but apparently they're very strict about their time curfews. So, getting back to the VGAs anyway. Part of me is actually...
Yeah.
Is it weird that I'm a little sad that they're not as much of a train wreck as they used to be? And now they're just kind of a corporate event?
They kind of weren't and decided not to use, stand-up comedians who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Which is a little annoying.
Oh, then surely they can find comedians who like video games. That shouldn't be that hard. Oh, hello, boss.
Yeah, but the thing is with comedians that play video games is that they're smart enough to realise that the VGAs is a massive waste of time.
Come on. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense.
It isn't worth the paycheck that whatever it is they've got to offer. The VGAs must have cost like 7 digits to produce. Looking at them this year. A full auditorium hiring some very talented musicians to butcher music. Here, play every iconic piece, a 7-second slot of that on top of the next one, so the composition changes tempo, tone. Just everything important about music changes every 7 seconds, so you can't fully appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up what else happened because I haven't watched the Sony one.
Okay, so Time Goddess, the way she works in this campaign, if you run on the red carpet, and like I say, you don't get much time to get to the red carpet, but if you run on that red carpet, costs you money, but your time gets boosted.
My favourite thing about the VGAs when I was watching them is I got excited every time it cut to the crowd, because then you could just see that it wasn't people that played video games, and it was just crusty old men that own companies that don't know anything about video games and just want to see monetary returns, and they're representing the company.
Oh, hello there. I kind of just went into a fever pitch mode where I just went super fast and murdered super hard. That's the thing that can happen, and it rules.
It's your power up.
Yes, all of the murder. Fuck you, boulders. Boosh.
I am kind of intrigued by Soul Calibur 6, I guess.
Oh god, yeah, I really do want to...
You know there's going to be DLC characters.
I am so excited at the idea of streaming Soul Calibur, because I could be like, look, the one video game I'm really good at. Hooray! I'm going to do 2 more levels of this, so I'm going to play up to level 8, and with that in mind, I think I've kind of shown enough to give you an idea of the fact that Half Minute Hero has all these different gameplay modes. There is one mode I haven't unlocked, but it's not that fun, admittedly. It's a bit of an escort mission thing, and that involves a knight and a sage. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely getting a lot more fast-paced.
Speaking of fast pace, they also announced Bayonetta 3.
Oh yes, yes, I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah,
It
and the
happened again.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's fine because Bayonetta fucking rules.
They're at least putting 1 and 2 out on the Switch, which is
Oh, yeah.
sort of a compromise.
1, 2, which?
Hmm.
It's called this
I like
party game.
Oh, that's a bit sad though.
I saw someone do a mock-up.
Oh,
for
okay.
1, 2, which was
Oh, it's
pretty
just
fun.
a very clever pun you did there.
Well, it was a very clever pun, but it was also a mock-up pun.
Alright, one more of these, because it's just fun to run around and just pepper things with a crossbow. We'll go for Toy Monster.
I'm kind of confused about how I should feel about Bayonetta. Because at the same time of being like a...
Does she make your wee feel funny, Tim?
yeah,
It's not...
she makes my brain feel funny, and with it, you know, she is hypersexualized. She is a strong, independent woman, but she is hypersexualized and made by a man for men. It just happens that a lot of women liked the games and liked her.
Yeah, I know. Hideki Kami is not the most feminist leaning character.
But I don't think he's the actual character designer, though. I'm sure a character designer's a woman. I think so, anyway. Can't remember now.
I need to validate why I jerked off over the pictures.
Bayonetta is even remotely... I think I've discussed this with you before. Bayonetta is probably the least sexually appealing character designs I think I've ever seen. Because she has
that's
weird,
your
super...
own personal taste.
Yeah,
That's true, yeah. It's just the fact she has weird proportions. She's just got the weirdest super long legs.
Man.
It is. She's deliberately overtly sexualized in every single way, shape, and form. You know, it's the difference between
bragging about they literally spent a month like getting the right shape for a bum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's got a really flat bum though. I'm just saying.
It's not good enough for me. Women aren't good enough for me. I
And
hate
that's
them.
not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like,
It's not a bad thing that I hate women.
no, don't put horrible words in my mouth. Oh, gross. No,
I remember cranking one out to like try and lie across triangular boobs back in the day.
back in the day before porn was easily accessible.
David just drew on a napkin.
Circle, circle, good enough.
That'll do. Alright, so that's Princess 30. I'm going to jump out of Princess 30. In a bit of a twist, the second game turned out to be really narrative driven. Like, it ends where the first game begins, and it goes for a way more serious tone. And that's what I'm going to be showing off, a bit of Half Minute Hero 2, now that I've given you full context of everything. So this game...
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say, this game plays itself way more straight as an RPG, which is weird given that it still has the high-speed time, like, mechanic. It's still built around that. But at the same time, it still does loads of little pokes and nods and references to other RPGs, so I can still kind of dig the tone of this. So, yeah.
The second coming, really?
It's a time pun, because it's seconds. That's just a joke.
Oh no, I just some girls like to call guys half-minute heroes.
Oh, I never even made that connection. That's quite funny. Oh, wow.
Just realised what women have been telling him this whole time.
So this is
They
kind
called
of...
me a hero.
So this right here is basically the ending of Half Minute Hero 1. This is what your hero would look like, fully kitted up in his ultimate armour and weapons and shit. There's Knight. There's Evil Lord.
Yep.
Princess. And, is that Sage? Yep, and Sage as well. And then the final boss, you all team up. You go into this dungeon right here, which is at the end of time. And you beat this boss.
Team Pirate says something interesting. I've been musing my thoughts on it. He says too few men are sexualized. I was thinking over that, and the only time that men have been sexualized is when they're overtly homosexual.
Yeah,
And it plays into the narrative that only men play games, apparently.
There need to be more hunky dudes in video games.
Yeah, I remember one of our major game reviewers just did a 2-minute montage of Geralt.
That owns.
With his shirt off. And, yeah.
Geralt is somewhat sexualized, but again, he's an extension of the player because he's so bland as a character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's making me think too.
He's a bit wankery, Geralt, actually.
Define wankery.
Hell, all the women pouring over him. He's like he's amazing at everything. He doesn't really have any flaws.
Oh, okay. He's like a flawless character.
Yeah.
Gary Stu.
Yeah, I think because I'm still trying to read through all the books, and he's a very introverted kind of person, and
That's
like
across in the
whole,
games. So
yeah, like the whole thing is that witches are normally meant to be like
They're
just mindless killing
outcasts.
machines, and but it's because of the conditioning they go through, the trial of the grasses and all that, and Geralt is meant to be a little bit more human than your average witcher.
yeah.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you would be able to relate to him.
Hmm.
The Witcher's got a very interesting well-designed universe.
I need to play
I
the
can't
Witcher
see
games.
it as it's like Game of Thrones with all the fantasy stuff still in it,
Yeah.
which is what I prefer. Like, yeah, if you're going to do a fantasy book, put fantasy shit in it.
Yeah,
Don't just say it existed and then died off.
There was once elves, and then there wasn't. And it's like, no, like, where did the elves come from? What's their relationship with the other races? Develop.
Yeah.
That's how you build a world. Don't just say what's there. And yes, Two Pirate, this is RPG Maker.
I don't think it is.
It
You
is.
keep saying it is, but is it? Can you get Wikipedia for it just to confirm it? Because
On Wikipedia. I can search for it and use a reputable site, yes.
wait, what?
Yeah, one that doesn't harass you for donations at the moment.
I mean, you know, are they privately owned? They don't like make loads of money. They don't want to be bought out by a big corporation.
Yeah, they were meant to be non-profit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get harassed enough by homeless people on the street asking me for money, so...
No. This is going to be Steve. The characters in this game are called Yusha, Yushia, and Yuja, and I think the idea is they're meant to use similar names, so it's not so you can easily you don't have to bother differentiating them. But I'm going to call them unique names. This is Steve. It's going to be Steve. Steve is an edgelord. He's like a dark, edgy, brooding character. So we're now playing with that RPG trope.
Oh, yeah, he's got to have the one little coloured streak in his hair.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know?
Young Steve.
Ah, shit. What have I been up to? Oh, yeah, work's been fun as of late because it's Christmas and we get lots of decorations up and I'm in a better mood than usual.
Hmm.
That was like Halloween when I worked in a coffee shop. So everyone got really excited for Halloween and we'd go like full out for it. And wore costumes. I wore my Shadowrun cosplay gear.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah, because there was like a bunch of light up neon stuff as well. So I was carrying around a battery pack with me all day. So I near enough just stayed. I either stayed in the office doing paperwork where I got to sit down,
Just do
or
some
I
random
just stayed on the coffee machines because I'm really good at making coffee.
Hmm.
Because I could do latte art. Still.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a bit of a skill.
Yeah, I've made a dragon. Was like
Wow.
one of my.
You took a picture of that, didn't you?
Yeah,
I remember that looking really cool.
And yes, by the way, this is RPG Maker. I did check.
It is. What RPG Maker model does it say?
It just says RPG Maker.
That's fascinating. Makes you wonder then how they, in the first game, got the other gameplay modes in there. That must have taken quite a bit of coding. Ah, fair dues.
With one of the easiest engines to utilize.
What, for things that aren't RPGs?
Yeah, even for like doing basic like twin stick stuff, it works.
Wow. Damn. I didn't realise RPG Maker was so flexible. Okay. Thought it was a Game Maker thing.
It's hardly CryEngine.
Oh, yeah. So this one, you've actually got characters that have actual pre-established backstories and all that kind of bullshit. You've got our main character as an edgelord, you've got Guy, our cool friend, and you've got Yashu, who's, I think he's our sub-commander, and he's a bit of a tool. Bit work obsessed.
Giant toddlers, let's begin our adventure. Let's
We
try
need
and
to
walk
find
around the
magical
crappy dogs.
tripods that hold up our giant heads.
They're dogs that turn into saber-toothed tigers when you actually engage them. Alright, killed those. Back to you, Mr. King. So this game, I kind of like it, literally starts the same way as the first and then massively deviates away from it. Like, it still has the basic structure of 30 seconds till death, but the actual there's an actual plot driven behind it as well now.
It's the same game, but more.
Yeah, same game but more. That's a good way of describing it. And it doesn't have the alternate game modes like the first one does. It takes the 30-second mechanic and does more with it. No, it does more with it. It does more creative things with
Battlefield 2? We've made the game again, but made it
with
worse.
less features.
As an apology for how bad the first one was.
Yeah, because the first game, admittedly, as much as I love the crossbowing and the RTS kind of stuff, it is kind of very shallow and easy to blitz through. So they took the 30-second saving the world mechanic and give you more with it, including mech battles that come into play later, and those are pretty rad.
I love them.
Nothing's cooler than when you're piloting a refrigerator on wheels with a gun in its hand and piloting a really big refrigerator with a giant gun in its hands.
In that, but yes, unironically, I would genuinely love to ride around in a giant fridge and fuck people up. Fridge gun.
That is my issue with like modern mech games that come out. It's that they feel like you're just piloting a dude again. Yeah, you're just a bit bigger.
Yeah, Titanfall and shit.
Titanfall has that problem. Like Lost Planet, the first one, was one of the first mech games I played. I think I played one in an arcade. It was I can't remember what it was, but mech combat felt a lot different from when you were on foot. Granted, you were fighting giant monsters in Lost Planet. But the mechs moved in their own unique ways, and all had their own unique combat
on
styles.
Xbox, where you could jump out, and it was sort of the first one I played where you could actually jump out of the mech, jump into like hack someone else's and jump into it.
Yeah. It was also one of the first games I think that utilized the grappling hook. Before it was like every game should have this.
So yeah,
Anyway, David.
Sorry, yeah, don't worry, it's nothing too major. One of the things that separates it from the first games, you've got an overworld to go around once between missions, so you don't have to just go to a menu. So during the overworld, you can fight monsters and actually grind if you want to. It's never necessary, but it just means the game gets a little tiny bit easier, because even though you level up super fast anyway, having yourself at a base level, which is already slightly elevated, just makes things a little quicker and easier for you. Also, it kind of happened, I showed it off earlier on during the fight against the boss, but there are special moves in this game. They're triggered based on percent chances. Certain moves have more chance to activate, but the ones that have less chance of activating do more damage. So you get to play around with that and make sure you've got a team of characters who can bust out the sweetest of moves and wreck your enemies' faces.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and you can also use different weapons to learn different skills, which give you different abilities. So already, just from a mechanical level, there's a lot more going on here. So something kind of rad about this game compared to the first one. Monsters now appear on the overworld. They're not random encounters, which is just better for any RPG, to be honest. Random encounters are pretty much the worst thing ever, even for super high-speed RPGs. They're on the overworld, and they flash a colour to let you know whether you're good enough to beat them yet. So if they're flashing red, don't touch them. Or if they're flashing yellow, you know, you're going to take a bit of a beating. If they're not flashing at all, you can mow through them.
The USPs for this game are basic quality of life stuff that you'd find in every other game ever.
Yeah, but that applied to super high speed, you know, it's something that's like, oh, cool, rad. It actually takes the improvements that RPGs have had over the years and applied them to the sequel. Because I think the first one was making fun of very retro RPG, or making fun of, but also following the tropes of retro RPGs, and this one actually plays more into what modern RPGs do, and works out better for it. Anyways, I'm going to take this sword. Boop. Wait, no. I ain't got enough money for it. I'll have to get that back in a minute. After I've killed some more dudes.
It's got to be tough taking the piss out of RPGs, because back in the day, that's like all the hardware could utilize, is that replicating Dungeons and Dragons with computers and a nice interface and some very simplistic graphics.
In fact, I'm going to dash through them, because now I can actually move fast. Yes, I can do a lot of fast killing now. There we go. Bit of this. And, oh, something appeared up here. What is this? Oh, shit. Okay, I got a rare monster. That gives me more items. Loads of money. Holy shit. I can use all that money to get myself a sword. And do a quick pray, but the pray's getting expensive now, so I've got to use that less. Okay, dash out. Kill these again. And dash over here. So, when you get into the swing of things, you've got to be fucking quick with everything. You've got to basically move a mile a minute to get things done in time. Boss said he was level 30, I'm level 32 now. Got 17 seconds, I should probably beat him. There we go. It's very hard to explain this game. It's one of those things where just the speed of it is kind of the challenge, and I think I was on a different wavelength there where I was kind of incomprehensible, but that's kind of where the game leads you.
That's probably why I like shooters so much, because they're near enough the most engaging they can be in terms of twitch reflex and paying attention to what's on screen, where your character is and what your character's doing.
Yeah, you definitely need to be focused to do well.
Yeah, it's not so much critical thinking and solving puzzles, to be fair, but it is engaging in the way that you have to pay attention or you get your ass shot.
Yes, very much so.
I think this game kind of falls in that middle ground between those, where it's you've got to do puzzles quickly. And sometimes it's nice enough to tell you what to do, but other times you've just got to figure shit out yourself. Anyways.
Yeah, to be fair, like, I do enjoy, like, your comfier sort of games, like Stardew Valley, and you just gotta be in the right mood for them.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say the final mission in this, like the mission that's designed to be super fucking hard, like ridiculously unpunishing, is called Hero 3. Can you guess the gimmick of Hero 3?
Geez, I wonder.
Yeah, so you get given a very small patch of land, but you've got to make use of every millisecond. So where I get in situations where I've got a couple seconds left and I'm trying to figure out how much more I can squeeze into that time frame, it's that for the full thing. And this guy again, let's beat him up. Oh, maybe get my partner to do it. There we go. Get that, pray to that. Here we go. Here I got to go back to the king. Best part of the game is the final campaign. Well, not the final campaign, it's the third character, so the third campaign. And there's a mission where the time goddess turns evil. And so you've got to try and like defeat her, despite the fact that the time now is now actively being used against you. So the 30-second time limit is being actually punishing and is actually giving you 30 seconds to do shit. And then there's a part where she flings you through time, but because she does that, temporal disturbance, you end up playing a mission called Hero 300 Billion, I think it is. Basically,
Okay.
yeah, you're flying through time, and as you jump to different time periods, the timer is just freaking out because it doesn't know how to respond, and it like glitches all the way across your screen. And you have to like try and fight your way through time to get back to modern day in order to fight her.
Yeah, cool.
And by the end of it, you're only given like a good 10 seconds to beat her, which is it's mean. It's very mean.
It's a bit cruel.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make room for Bernard because he wants to come and have a cuddle.
Oh, go for
Hello,
it.
Freddy. Coming up for smooch? Come on.
Apparently, this game has VR support.
This game?
Really? What?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what would you?
Check the settings.
That's fascinating. Alright, bear with me. I'm going to have a look for this VR support because that's fascinating to me. Are you kind of going through its stream profile?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's jump onto my stem. This isn't going to show on the stream window. Nope, cool.
It would come up in the settings. Comes up in the settings for visual settings in game.
Oh, in game?
Hmm.
Oh. Options. Graphics. What the hell? Yeah. I didn't expect that. That's different. What happens if I enable it? What's it going to happen? I don't have Oculus Rift.
You don't own an Oculus Rift to go home.
Oh, it doesn't look any different. I guess it only works if you actually hook it up to an Oculus Rift.
Yeah, you have to, plug in an Oculus Rift.
Ah.
Or your Steam VR headset, your Sony VR.
Oh,
headset.
I need to apply it. Wait a second.
And
Whoa!
the second you do that, you instantly become a Trump supporter.
Wait a second.
Might as well.
Well, here's a fun way to
there
play
you
the
go.
game. Let's play it like this from now on.
Yeah, I've seen ones. I have seen someone set up like an actual.
Screen.
No, I've seen setups like this before. Like someone's actually set up a proper 80s style arcade in VR. So
Right.
like you load up your main ROMs and everything, and you walk over to the actual box to play it. And there's like a little movie theater you can set up on your media server. Yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah, but that means the actual work went into the environment of the cabinet, of around it. This is just... this is...
Yeah.
It's like the holodeck turned off.
This is really fascinating to look at. I had no idea this functionality was even a thing. That's hilarious. I'm going to put this back to normal now because I can't handle
This was
this
made
anymore.
in Google SketchUp.
Let's put that off. Off, please. There you go. Back to normal. There we go. I feel safe now. I feel at home again.
Yeah, JC's pointing out, Mama, it's a good way to get cats to eat their pills.
I'm not a cat
Cat
owner,
aspirin.
but I'll make use of that info, I guess.
David's going to wrap his pills in cheese.
If I ever want to pill a cat.
Ha 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 ha.
Wait, that giggle implies that I'm doing it for banter's sake. I'm just drugging
Yeah.
cats because it's funny.
Yeah, you're just going about drugging the neighbour's cat.
I mean, yeah.
Ha ha ha.
I'm glad you didn't go for something sinister with that. I like the idea that I'm just as
What, killing
clownish.
cats isn't sinister?
No, not cyanide
stick in the
pills.
head.
Not cyanide, not poison
No, you
pills.
give them hypnoid.
Not even that. No, just simply, just I don't know. Just give them pills that make them stoned. Stoner pills. Those exist.
That laugh freaked me out too, because it sounds like the clown vending machine from Bioshock.
Oh
Welcome
shit!
to
Yeah.
the circus of value.
Feel your
Yeah.
cravings at the circus of value.
Oh man, I'm getting such good flashbacks to Bioshock. God damn, I like that game.
I really like the
Yeah.
remaster, which brought back all the bugs and more. Thanks.
Yeah, it was a bit fiddly.
I don't think they ever fixed it.
Is Bioshock buggy? I've never run into anything with it.
Yes, it was.
Ooh.
On release, it was.
I was actually, yeah, that's probably the only positive thing I got out of Fallout 4. I didn't get,
It didn't crash when you
like-
started it up.
yeah, like every other fucking Bethesda game.
Oh no, the magpies, they return. They're attacking.
Fallout 4. Cheap, they say. Cheap Bethesda. Really cheaped out on the process of making a RPG. Instead made an FPS on a stodgy engine.
You should invite all the
But yeah,
birds
so-
in and make friends with them and become the bird person.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to, if anything. Like,
just summoning
one will
birds.
actually... Yeah.
Someone in the street yells at you and you're like, very well, birds! You just open your sleeves and birds fly out and peck you.
Attack my birds!
Now, my flock, we must fly south. They all flock around you and pick you up and fly you.
No, they wouldn't be able to lift me. Too fucking over for that.
I'm a slave to capitalism in this game. Oh fuck, I'm not strong enough to fight this thing. I didn't think this through. Let's go.
Oh no, a shrubbery. I can't handle it.
This shrubbery's really mad though. He's really angry. Come on, give me some healing. And now go quick!
It's alright, JC, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Oh, she just rinsed me! She literally took my clothes! Oh god! How much debt am I in? Fuck me, I can't fight you without
Does something
clothes.
to mirror David's real life.
This game
To
is
sell his clothes.
a sad reflection of my life right now.
Next thing you know, the character's going to be eating grot pot. Wearing pants on his head.
Can I just debrief what happened there? Because I was really bad at managing my funds as well as my timing, I ended up running out of money to reset the time. She did it anyway for me. Says, don't worry, I'll put you in a little bit of debt. And then she proceeded to take my items, my weapons, and all of my clothes right before I had to fight a giant monster that wanted to destroy the continent. And I ran up to the monster, couldn't do shit, and everyone's dead now. Everyone died because I'm bad with money.
I always love that in games. It's like when a world-ending event is happening, but you still have to follow the laws of capitalism. Like in Fable, like if you start taxing everyone, then they all get really upset, and you can't just say, "Well, look, we're just doing this to survive it, and then we'll go back to normal after we've saved the world." There's no like actual control. It's like do this, ruin everyone's lives, and save the world, or let the world end and let everyone be happy with what they've got. There's no such thing as compromise.
I just that what you just said there is it just made me come to a realization. I just realized something about this series of games, the series of games that I've liked for so long and I've beaten them quite a few times. A time goddess in this game. Yeah, obviously the reason you're trapped in a horrible loop of capitalism is because it's I wouldn't say benevolent. You've got an uncaring god who is just obsessed with money and will help you on the condition you give her money. And I just realised she's the time goddess and she's obsessed with money. Time is money. And I was like, oh, and that's like the ethos of the whole game. I get it now. That makes sense. I thought that was just a
10
joke
years
about her.
behind everyone there.
I thought her being materialistic was just a random character. It's just a random part of her character. I didn't realise that ties into her being a goddess of time. And therefore money.
10 years time, David's just going to turn around to people and be going, "How about that Trump character? Those conservatives, am I right?" It's just going to be like, "Oh, what?"
I feel like they could ruin a few things. Okay, got another dragon to fight now. After that rather difficult mission with the wood dragon.
You got beaten up by a tree again.
This is a horse dragon. I got to fight a horse dragon. I like the game even calls him Horse?
I know an actual creature. I have trouble with nature, like trees. I got mugged by a tree once.
I forgot this is Horse Dragon. What up, Horse Dragon? What a name. What a goddamn good dragon.
Like that David's just refusing to acknowledge the facts of life.
I'm not going to acknowledge being made fun of. I have to deal with that too much.
You got mugged by a tree.
Well, yeah. No, I got mugged by my debt collector and therefore beaten up by a tree, I'll have you know. Funny thing about a lot of DOS games is the fact that a lot of them play at the maximum speed of your whatever computer you're currently playing them on, so a lot of them go at just unviewably fast paces because they don't expect modern computers.
They were programmed to be at the clock speed of the hardware's processor.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't project that people would be playing them on modern PCs that's clock speed is.
You can actually slow down the cycles to get to that speed level, though, in DOSBox. I had to do that for the Crystal Skull Scream. The spinny blades bit.
Granted, my bad for not reading the dialogue, I would have figured that out, but that beta thing that I've got is designed to kill those things on the beach that are way more powerful than me in one hit. So I could use those to my advantage to beat those bloody things. That's what I was supposed to be doing. Okay, cool. Now I can just lay waste to all those beach things and make loads of money. Boosh. All the money. Loads of money. Squoosh. Much better. There we go. One more turn back in time.
Is great because it's using a modern computer to run software that emulates a really shitty computer, and in the process, it kills your computer just running it.
I mean, it's
a bizarre piece of software.
Yeah, I was happy I managed to get Windows 3.1 running in it, though. Like, that was sort of the era I grew up in.
I was a 98 child. Windows 98 on our home computer, that's what we had.
I remember my Packard Bell that had Windows 98 on it. It played this little jingle anytime you turned it on. I've not been able to find that jingle anywhere, and it really bugs me.
It's a MIDI file.
I don't think it was it was a MIDI file, but it wasn't the default jingle. It was like do 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 do. It just played that anytime, and it was like it had like a jungle kind of theme to it. Like the instrumentation was meant to sound like jungle-ish.
Yeah, vaguely remember that.
Yeah, okay, it wasn't just me then. Like someone else knows that one.
Yeah.
I've not been able to find it on the internet. Like all other Windows startup sounds like infamous, and they've been remembered throughout history, but just not that one.
Throughout the past 10 to 12 years.
20.
Throughout history.
20 years.
Remember the Romans.
It's 2018. It's literally 20 years since Windows 98. That's one thing in the Game Awards I thought was really lovely is that I can't remember her name now. I feel really bad, but that old lady who used to work at Atari, and she got her award, and she looked so chuffed about it. She looked so happy, and I was just like, oh, bless her. She's cool. She's super cool.
James Cameron just said, remember when you had to shut your computer off manually? No.
I do.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that. So
I remember that.
No. Because on my 98, if you shut it off manually, you'd kill the hard drive. You'd press start and click on shutdown.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that is that. Yeah. That's I was imagining when the same manual.
Windows 95 had that picture that came up that said it's now safe to turn off your computer. So
yeah, that was during the shutdown process, wasn't it?
I remember that, the orange text and the black background. Yeah. Oh, old computers. I should emulate an old computer and just play with it for a stream.
I have my 98 stashed away in the garage somewhere.
That's all well and good. Could we stream on that? Stream from that. Could OBS work on that?
I have the hardware that I can do that. I'd have to hook up my game capture stuff, and I can. We should
get your old computer and just play with it.
We can play Age of Empires 1.
Oh my god! Play Solitaire,
Minesweeper, Solitaire.
Isn't it a sad world where we can't play Solitaire anymore without microtransactions?
Yeah, I need a new video card because I can only run PUBG on lower settings.
Oh, that's good because then you can it renders less. It renders less bushes and you can see people hiding in them.
Yeah. I usually have issues right at the start when you drop in because it can't.
Because it's loading in all the entities and assets.
Yeah,
at
it can't
once.
load in all the houses. I've
It's like-
actually gotten stuck in a house because of that.
Let's render everything at once.
Calm down, game.
Oh, hello, party member.
They're selling that on consoles now. It's
Yeah,
still
it's a
an
little
alpha.
bit sad. I know
It's
it's
not
out
finished.
of early access. Yeah, in a couple of days, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've got a Tasmanian mate who plays it regularly, and they were playing the new map on the test server, which is up and running.
Oh, they've got more than one map now. Great.
Yeah.
They've upgraded to two. Whoop-de-doo!
Here we
Two
go.
Boats just made a joke that I can't get over how funny I think it is.
What is it?
Hey, Tasmanian mate, how are you finding PUBG? Wham, 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 wham.
Oh, good. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
This idea, just someone in that game just lands, opens a box, and then just spins away through a house. It's like, what? The game glitch. No, this map is set in Tasmania.
I'll have to bring that up with him next time he plays.
God, that game needs animals in it. It needs like cows that people can hide behind as shields, and horse costumes that you can get in with a teammate and disguise yourself as a horse. There needs to be more horse costumes in games, which involves two players working together. It's like Brothers, where or that new Escape from Prison two-player game, where you have to make sure you're walking the right way, otherwise you expose yourself as a costume.
I've seen, I think I was watching Funhouse and they got some crappy Gmod game where it's like team deathmatch humans versus animals. But it's really stupid because there's like hitbox damage. Like if you play as an eagle, you can get your wings cut off and you just kind of flopping around. You can still fight, but you're flopping around as like a torso.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
And there's one you play as like a whole group of gorillas, and the main gorilla can throw the smaller gorillas as a weapon.
It's so vocal, I love him.
And
Jesus.
it's literally what it is. They're hanging out for feed.
Where's my food?
they sound like a horde of 6-year-olds with recorders. It sounds like a recorder recital. They're trying to play Three Blind Mice. Or Hot Cross Buns. Who knows? They're the same tune. A while ago I saw a Reddit post where someone was like, oh, I usually on my lunch break I buy bread and I feed like I used to feed the ducks, but ravens would always get to them, so I started feeding the ravens. And the ravens always brought me things. And then one day I brought like a more expensive bread, and then the ravens bought me a £20 note, and now they're conditioned to like when I buy them the nicer bread, they bring me money instead. So I'm quitting my job.
That's amazing.
And there was a whole Reddit post about how magpies have, ravens are smart.
Ravens are
Birds
the
have this
best.
weird thing where they like collectively learn. Like ravens on one side of a country will drop walnuts or snail shells into the middle of a road crossing. So cars will run over them and split them, and they'll wait for the walk signs to go on, so then they'll dive down and get their food safely without being run over. So they're utilising cars as tools.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually do it here with cane toads. You'll actually see like your bigger birds, magpies or crows. They worked out the toad's poisonous on top, so they'll actually break the legs of the toad, flip it over, and eat its guts out.
Oof. Okay.
which is well deserving because they're a plague of bastards.
Hmm.
Yeah, the reason the magpies were so loud was because they were actually in the kitchen again.
They're starting to learn, like, they can get free food from you. You just have to, like, train them to, like, do things for you. Bring me gifts, magpies!
Bring me shiny things!
And then they'll collect their shiny things, give them to you. It's like, a watch! This is a fine gift.
So I'll give you a little, I won't go into too much, but I'll give you a little quick play-by-play of everything that goes on with the Yusha's story here. So you end up beating all the dragons one by one. There's 8 in total. We've beaten 4 of them, so there's 4 to go. Once you've beaten all the dragons, you then move on to the second half of this campaign, where that dark knight that's hanging out with us, Ramiz, proves that they're an evil shithead, and they were making us do that on purpose so we get cursed, and then he frames us for murdering our girlfriend, the princess. Then we become a traitor, everyone hates us, and then your main character goes on a dark, edgy quest to get revenge. And that kind of boils down to the rest of his campaign.
From what I've seen, I think I prefer the first one.
Really? Oh, well, the
Yeah.
first one's kind of a comical subversion, yeah. I mean,
the first one's a comical subversion. This one becomes what it was making fun of, almost.
it's interesting you say that, because that's like one of the things that's one of the few things I've had feelings about with this game since, like, I've played both of them quite a lot. I played them quite a long time ago. But
Yeah.
I checked reviews as well, and that kind of came up in reviews.
The
It was
first
like,
one was kind of making fun of how everything's like a mile wide and deep, how like it's all this grandiose, but you're never given like any time to or reason to care about anything, and there's no world building depth put into anything. Even though Final Fantasy has some world building, very little, but some more. And this game has become what it was making fun of, a hypothetical where it is a mile wide and an inch deep, where there's no world building. It's just saying that you should care about these characters and that everything is a meaningful adventure that's building up to something.
I'd say that is the reason why this particular arc of the game, like this first arc, is probably the weakest. Because I think this character, I get that they want to portray like a JRPG edgelord, which is what they're going for. That he's just an edgelord to the max. He's the most stereotypical anime edgelord, and it comes more so when he starts enacting revenge. But to that end, he is just that, unironically. That's just what he is, and you kind of get the point of him very quickly. You get a bit bored of him. Whereas the other two characters, the second campaign's a bit more comical, and the third one is like shark jumping over the top craziness, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's like, it feels like it's basically Gurren Lagann. It like just straight up references and behaves like Gurren Lagann when it gets to the third arc, and that's why that's the most enjoyable.
As James Cameron
Yeah.
says in the Twitch chat, what is this on purpose? Is the lack of depth done on purpose? Because I don't feel like it is.
I don't feel like it is for this first chunk of the game. I think this first chunk just plays it too straight, and that's kind of its problem. It starts weak. This one starts weak compared to the first game.
It feels like the developers were making another game because the first one was successful, and it would be a surefire hit. And they didn't think about what people liked about the writing with the first one, because the most important thing with an RPG like this is the writing, because it's the majority of the game.
Yeah, like the tongues were firmly in the cheeks with the first game, and then this one, the best it does is little nods with side characters, and that's about it.
I mean, even if you do it as satire, poor satire is bad satire.
Well, the first game's satire
Bad
was pretty
satire
solid,
is
but
bad
this
writing.
one...
Yeah, that's the thing, and this one seems to be, if it is doing satire, it's poorly done. And poor satire is poor writing, so...
But then you have that also, because it's an interesting thing that is way more prevalent with games than with films, is that although the presentation and writing and all that isn't as strong in this, the actual game itself is way better. So you have that weird discrepancy where it's like, I wish that the first game had this quality of life and this gameplay. That would be the perfect experience. Like, there's no, the closest it gets to combining the best of both worlds is in the third arc of this game when you're playing as Yuja, because he's anime hero. He's grandiose, over the top anime hero, and he fights gods. That's his whole gimmick. Is everyone you fight is a god.
Crystal dinosaur, nice.
It's Dinosaur Dragon.
Dino
Dragon. I think
Looks like he's shitting out a crystal and he can't quite get it out.
no, can't help. Alright,
I think we should enter David into Robot Wars. That would be like
Run.
the next...
What,
Running,
is it a
flailing my
contestant or a
arms.
robot?
That's a robot. I just covered him in toilet roll, spray paint him silver.
It'd be a thing where we go in to try and con the
We've made a
system by having me
bipedal
dressed like a robot, but the robots are
Eat
actually
snooze.
dangerous. They have flamethrowers and shit.
This robot's main weapon is the ability to cower and cry.
Ah! No, Sergeant Bash. No, please don't hurt me. Ow, my toes.
I'm getting bashed by the sergeant. Can we kill these dudes? Nope. Apparently we can't. Even after all the special
Half-Minute
attacks.
Hero 2, in summary, seems to be just your average RPG, but instead of combat, you walk into people.
Oh no, it's not about combat, it's about time management. Time and money management. Have you not noticed me getting incredibly agitated and stressed throughout this because it's a constant fight against the clock? And that's what
Yeah,
it's built
but-
around. It's built around that, not RPG elements. The RPG elements are like a facade.
Writing-wise.
Yeah, it's written like...
Writing-wise, it might as well be any other RPG.
Yeah.
Just that its gimmick is time management as opposed to...
Yeah, that's
Gameplay.
exactly right. If you're talking from
It's
like
more
strictly
meta
from
management as opposed to gameplay,
yeah.
which is less involving in the story.
Oh, the gameplay's stupidly involving, like to the point where I'm getting
Yeah, but not
agitated how
in-
bad I am at it.
It's a theory that I'm working on where gameplay affects your involvement with the plot. And the type of gameplay changes it. If it's in combat, then that reflects the character and the situation. If it's meta and it's resource management, you're not thinking about the plot and the scenario you're in. You're thinking about things on a meta level, and it takes you out of the story and the motivation.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
you're
that's...
looking at things as numbers as opposed to how they affect the plot. When in combat, you're still thinking about numbers with a turn-based RPG, but you're more thinking about characters and keeping the characters alive because they affect interactions with the plot and the story as a whole.
That's a very good analysis.
Flesh out.
I get exactly where
Something
you're
I
coming
need to
from.
flesh out, but meta gameplay is less effective at involving the player with the story.
So I think
I
the
feel
first...
this anyway.
I think, yeah, that's actually a very good analysis. I like that. I think that's why the first game is stronger, is because it doesn't... It literally has the
Well, because the
story
narrative is having a joke at the expense of mile-wide, knee-deep RPGs. You know, they're uninvolving, is what it's saying, and the gameplay informs that it's uninvolving because you're not thinking about the characters, you're thinking about meta management. But this has something that's more story-driven, but it's still got the meta management gameplay. So the gameplay doesn't inform the narrative.
Yeah,
and
there's
work in
a...
tandem with the story.
This game has a huge... It's that word I've noticed you use a lot more recently. The Ludo narrative of this game is a lot more off compared to the first ones. The first one is a lot more solid in that regard.
Ludo narrative is player specific. The narrative in general, it doesn't seem to have a coherent narrative. You know, it's harder to tell what this game is trying to say, what its message is.
Fuck. The message is that David is bad at timing button presses. Shit. Try it one more time. I can do this. I got so far that time.
The giant world turtle rocks up. It's like, time's up!
You fucked up!
What's up? Game over.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's a perfect analysis. Is this gameplay as a whole has been improved, but its relation to the story has taken a bit of a nosedive.
Yeah, they spent the attention in the wrong place on improving the game instead of the story, which needed work at the same time.
Well, it's not so much story needed work, it just needed to not be as much of one. It needed to not have a story. A story actually hampers this, it slows it down.
Yeah.
I think
it's like you said, it plays it a little bit too straight.
I think this complements your point, but this game, I've noticed compared to the first one, in the first game, when you skip dialogue, it kind of goes, and it just gives you the next scene without anything, and there's not that much dialogue. In this, I've hit start button to skip dialogue, and I've still had to wait a few seconds while it goes through scene after scene after scene of cutscenes, and that comparatively is so slow.
It's become what it's making fun of, but with the same gameplay that informed the parody almost
Of the first,
it was in the first. It's the gameplay is parody, but the story is not. So you've got this disconnect. There's a clear separation of what the player is experiencing versus what the writer is saying. And what the writer is saying is fantasy RPG. When in the first one, it seemed like the writers and the gameplay designers were saying, RPGs are stupid.
So I've got a busy schedule coming up because not this week, the week after, I start a week of holidays, so I'm probably going to stream and do game stuff a bit more often.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Well, I mean, David was wanting to arrange like a 24-hour stream at some point, or stream every day, or something like that.
I think every day is asking a bit much, but I think if we have like several days a week where we're scheduled to have streams for, like, and that'll be a consistent thing, that could be a bit of a pull for people. I think that'd be interesting. We became more of a stream team.
Saying everything is happening again. Dude, that's good. Well, I think this game could be a DLC for the first, if I'm honest.
Yeah, fuck, no.
It should be like the same story again, but you're like ultra powerful, and you're just stomping over everything, and then characters become self-aware.
Hey, I'm back.
And like, oh, we've got to change for this ultra powerful god character who's stomping over everything in 30 seconds. So their tactic is to try and inflate you with story. So the actual game is you trying to get over dialogue quickly.
Oh, that would...
past their stalling tactics. So they're trying to overinflate the story to slow you down.
Holy
because
shit!
The gameplay has become too easy.
That would have been so much better.
The game out. There should be a game a game designer.
That's such a good idea, though. Holy shit! That would have been really fucking good.
That is actually really good. Think of it. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it would be like, oh, the gameplay's too easy. Or the game wants you to slow down, so it's like forcing you into like long dialogue options, and the enemies come up to you and like telling you their life stories, and they're appealing you to not kill them, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. I can get through this, I can save the day, no business, no skin off my back, I've got 30 seconds to do it, and I'm going to do it in 30 seconds, no problem, and everyone's like, stop it, no, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of what RPGs have the potential to be, despite their gameplay.
God damn it, Tim, you were on some next level. This game has inspired you, just through its like shortcomings, it has inspired you to come up with some dope shit. I'm patenting that thing you all just heard just now, that's been patented now. I'm writing it down and posting it to myself. I think that's how patents work. It means it's ours now. You can't take it.
And that will be Half Minute Hero 3, 1minute and 30 seconds.
Let's finish this up by beating up Rock Dragon. Now I've got Rockin', who can jump forward and mess this thing up. And now he's loaded its defense, we can beat it. Bip bip bap. Boink. There we go. That thing takes deceptively long if you don't have Rockin' with you. It takes like an extra 10 to 15 seconds and it's a bastard. I remember that just because I lost to it like 3 times before figuring out I was meant to get that guy. And oh, within you is evil, and you're gonna be evil, and you're Sephiroth and stuff. Rah.
Now you too have a crystal in your asshole.
No,
I guess
why?
you could say there's a little crystal inside all.
Inside all of our assholes.
I've been sitting down on the Quartz Museum.
There's 2 more dragons, but I think we get the point anyway, so... There we go, that's us done for today. Cool. Alright, well...
no,
this
it's the Time Goddess Dragon.
The Time Goddess is a boss in this, and she's pretty fun to fight. She's one of the better parts of the game. It's a mission that, again, it uses the meta and breaks the 4th wall in order to be engaging and entertaining, and yeah. That's when this game's at its strongest, is when it's being self-aware. That's what it needs to be. Alright, well, this has been fun, so we'll see you all next time we stream a thing. It might be Harry Potter. I'll get back on the Chamber of Secrets train and maybe see if we can get Neve.
Chain of Secrets.
We'll try and get Neve back into things as well. And yeah, with that, we'll see you all next week, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to go back through the chat because I've not actually been able to pay attention to it during this stream. So, see you soon.
Everyone's been saying how much you smell.
Oh no, they have as well. Oh god, no. Oh, my cool street cred. Oh, bugger. Alright, bye everyone.
Smell you later.